All right.
Can I start us off with a poem?
Please. Does this have any meaning in any way? Sorry, I won't. Let's just do it. Let's do it cold. Don't answer.
It defines.
Can I start off the pod with a poem? Go.
Yes, it's emotional. It talks about this person's life. Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Amen. She
was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming, and they don't stop coming.
Familiar.
Fed to the rules, I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun.
Mm-mm.
Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow.
Dr. Seuss. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. a legend.
To a guy that nobody really knows his name except this. They call him the Shrek song singer, Smash Mouth singer guy.
Steve Harwell. Not
famous. Like, how about this? So famous, but also not famous.
Yeah,
like not individually famous.
But you could like recognize him better than if someone was like, "Did you hear about Steve Harwell?"
Exactly.
But if you saw him in the airport, you'd be like, "Smash Mouth guy."
Did you watch that video from
a couple? Do this to an L on your forehead to him.
Did you watch that video from a couple of years ago where he was drunk at a show or whatever,
and he could like hardly sing it?
Yeah,
I think they either
that
played
was depressing,
or they were supposed to play in Tacoma.
Oh, really?
At that
you know what?
Chambers Bay thing.
But he hasn't been their singer for a while.
Oh, he hasn't?
No.
Because he's dying.
Well, he's drinking himself to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bummer.
Liver failure will do that.
Hospice.
I used to work at a hospice.
He was on horse piss.
I was thinking hoss, like a big corn-fed Indiana
Hoss.
O-lineman.
Hospice. Boss hog.
Big dog t-shirts.
Who else RIP'd?
Why doesn't Big Nate wear big dog t-shirts all the time? He should.
Because it's not 1998.
I'm going to get him one for Christmas. Spoiler.
Combo gift. Let me get in on that. Oh no, this is not going to be an episode where I can't talk. Anyways, who else RIP'd? Bob,
Jimmy. Oh, and Bob.
Dude, Jimmy, Bob, and Steve, Jimmy, and Bob.
Yeah.
Okay, in the name orders, what should go?
Of cultural importance?
No, you know they do this with like radio shows and stuff. Well, like
a title or something.
In the title, and usually it's like most senior or most owner or something. Mm-hmm. But then there's this other thing where it's like most aesthetically pleasing.
Right.
So what order would you go in?
I would go
Steve,
Bob first, Steve. What's his name?
Jimmy,
Bob,
Steve. Jimmy, Bob. You can't go Jimmy, Bob.
I'd go
because
Bob,
Jimmy, Bob
Steve.
sounds like, yeah.
Bob, Steve, and Jimmy. I don't know.
Bob, Jimmy, Steve, Jimmy, Bob. Yeah, you can't go Jimmy. Even though Jimmy, Bob rolls off the tongue, if you want to give them their individual credit, to which credit is due for their unique contributions to American, nay, world culture.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You know what's...
I was trying to find it. It's just talking about like where to put commas and stuff.
Who do you think is more known this week?
What do you mean?
Of those three?
Oh. Bob Barker.
Yeah, it has to be Bob. I mean, that's like...
Because not everyone loves, every type of music or something.
I know, but it's such a meme. But is it just a meme with younger people?
Jimmy Buffett?
Smash Mouth.
Oh. Cheeseburgers in Paradise? Yeah, I think it's just a meme with younger people. Millennials and below.
Who's more known right now between Jimmy and Steve? As a person, definitely Jimmy.
Yeah.
If Steve gets to include his band,
Yep.
it might be a run for his money. Wasted away.
What's another
in Margaritaville.
What is another Smash Mouth song?
The one they did for the next movie? I don't know.
Um.
Go on their Spotify and see what's their number 2.
Yeah.
And you say the title of it, and I'll see if I can sing a lyric.
I was just typing Spotify in Spotify for some reason.
I hate that. Oh, when you type what you're saying, I always do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's one for a movie. I'm a believer. But then...
Wait. Why didn't you say that?
What?
That could have been the next one. That's not number 2?
That's number 2.
That was the rules of the game I just set up.
I thought you said tell you the title and you sing it.
Oh, I did say that. Okay, that's very well known. Yeah, that was for the next one.
But they didn't write that song.
No.
Walking on the Sun.
Might as well be walking on the sun. Yeah. What year was that released?
1997.
Wow.
And then Can't Get Enough of You, Baby.
I remember that because 1998 was when I had alone time at home, and I could sneak watching MTV and VH1
Mm-hmm.
and see the TTs and the Tatas flouncing about on those channels, and listen to the kind of lyrics that I wasn't allowed to listen to otherwise.
Yes.
And yeah, 1997, that would have hung around right then. 1997, 1998. Wow. What a time. Oh gosh, what a time.
Mm-hmm.
Take me back.
To 1997.
Oh, speaking of taking me back, did you see my stories from the weekend? I wasn't going quite so far back, but you know who messaged me? Mandy. She's like, quite the Saturday playlist.
Yeah, what was it was like not Amy Grant, or was that one of them? No, it was someone else.
Faith Hill,
yeah.
This kiss. Unthinkable.
I never know what the word is. The second word. Me pick a dope. I actually have this thing where I don't listen to lyrics of songs, but I know like the sounds of the words, but not necessarily what the word is.
That's a perfect song for that.
Which I guess Tom Segura said he is also like that. He doesn't listen to lyrics.
And the next one?
I forgot.
Fergalicious.
Oh, yeah. Fergalicious definition make the voice go loco.
Okay, so you do know the lyrics of that one.
Put your milk in my Cocoa Puff. Is that song?
Yeah. Dude.
Well, that was like my high school. That was my high school song.
Oh, yeah, wait.
Black Eyed Peas. Everything in like 2006, 2007 was Black Eyed Peas.
Yeah, I think that album came out 2007. Is that when you graduated? 07?
9.
Oh, yeah. That would have been too soon because I graduated college in 06.
I got a feeling.
Oh, my gosh. What were you doing? You know what's so funny? Editing the podcast again was you saying you carpooled with the Hunts kids, and that was on the heels of carpooling with Greg Robbins.
Yeah.
And then it was just a funny time of carpooling, going to CKA 45 minutes away. I mean,
commitment.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're drafted to a good school like that, you know, sometimes you have to make other sacrifices.
Was it that? I was going to say...
When you want to beat every other Christian school except the black Seattle Christian school at basketball, sometimes you have to drive 45 minutes.
You didn't play any of the Tacoma Catholic schools.
No.
You gotta.
But for some reason we played Seattle Christian.
You would have got beat down by those whites.
No.
Yeah.
John Guerrero.
Those are the good whites. I mean, good at basketball whites.
Oh yeah. The feeder schools for Gonzaga.
Yeah.
What are those called? Annie Wright and...
Yeah, Annie Wright and... Anyways. Yeah, so it was a good playlist weekend. I started with the Rosé on Tap playlist, which had a lot of...
I've listened to that one.
Which has a lot of girl, anthems. Or sort of like girl party songs.
Yeah.
I'm not going to... I love a girl singer.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of people who are like, I won't listen to a girl singer.
For what reason?
They don't like the sound of it.
I believe it.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, but if I'm going to listen to a singer, I prefer to listen to a woman.
Huh. Some people just ain't about it. Charles Wright.
Charles Wright.
Charlie.
What's the other one? There's another. Isn't there another Tacoma Catholic? No, Charles Wright, Annie Wright.
Well, those were the big ones. Concordia.
Lutheran.
Charles Wright.
Maybe it's
St. Patrick. Bellarmine.
That's not.
Is that in Tacoma?
I don't know.
It must be.
I don't want to sound
South
dumb,
Washington Street. It is.
Is it Catholic though?
Yes. Run by the USA West Province of the Society of Jesus in Tacoma, Washington.
Holy Mother.
It is located in the Archdiocese of Seattle.
Because we're like
909 students in 2021.
we were, I don't know what our technical affiliation is now, but when the Franciscan hospitals affiliated with Harrison, now St. Michael Medical Center, the Archdiocese of Seattle had to sign off on it.
Had to bless it.
Yeah. And there was something where he was like our fiscal year starts on July 1st, and he was on vacation. So they had to do some legal something or another, because then he couldn't sign the affiliation or sign off until 7/5 or something like that.
Weird.
I know. Here's what I'd like to revisit. In the last 2 weeks, how have your interactions been with Fred Meyer Lady? Have you been?
Haven't been, because I've been working.
Been working.
Haven't
Lauren's been
much.
going? Or you just been doing HelloFresh and leftovers?
Yep. She went once. We went once and went through the regular checkout.
You better watch your mic position.
We went once and went through the regular old checkout because it was available. I didn't feel like scanning produce.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too. But I have a new sales pitch for one, your attitude,
Mm-hmm.
and two, the way you treat this person.
I'm willing.
And actually, this came up on Bad Friends podcast a little bit. And it has to do with legacy. And it has to do, it reminded me because we were talking about heaven, aka living forever. And whether or not you live forever. Did you watch Bad Friends this week?
No. I haven't watched it in months.
Oh, really?
Got too wild.
The Bussin' with the Boys one is, I will recommend.
Yeah, who are those guys?
2 ex-football players.
Okay.
Or 2 football players. Anyways. They had Dan Soder, or did they have Mateo Lane, or was this on Tiger Belly? I don't know.
Dan Soder was on Tiger Belly.
Here's the point. Here's the point is they were talking about specials, comedian specials, and do you want to put out I'm going to put out 5 specials and that's all I'm going to do because I want to know that each one are great? Or do you want to follow the flow of sort of the ebbs and flows of popularity and sales? And if the opportunity is there to do a special so you can promote a tour, blah, 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 do that and not have it be, not pay attention so closely to, my goal is to have these 3 things stand on their own, for eternity, or the Jay Leno way of, I don't feel like I need to put out a special and you just come to my shows because that's the point. Nothing's ever going to sound like it does, whatever. And he doesn't need the money.
Yeah.
And Bobby Lee was making the point, like, basically like saying, like, as soon as you die, you're done. Like, nobody cares, whether or not you have this special or that special. Yeah, maybe for a generation or 2, if you're the tippy top of the iceberg and you are remembered as sort of like a Mount Rushmore type person. But even those Mount Rushmore type people to their age, 40s, or let's say, Bobby Lee was saying, like, young people don't know who we considered the best ever. They don't even care.
They don't even know who Teddy Roosevelt is.
Dude, hilarious comedian, Teddy Roosevelt. And so, but I don't know if I heard this on a podcast or I was just thinking about this. There is
a tie back to the Fred Meyer lady.
There is a way to live forever. There is a way, besides believing in our Lord Jesus Christ and calling upon his name for the salvation of your soul,
having an effect on other people.
The way to live eternally is to think about the influence you have put out into the world. And so my sales pitch for the attitude with which you approach this quote unquote like stupid idiot lady at Fred Meyer.
Stupid idiot. I think she's aggressive.
Lady
aggressive, abrasive.
At Fred Meyer is not for not even for her own sake, but for your existential place in the span of time, and to make your legacy, your butterfly effect into the world.
So next time I should just say, pull her aside and say, hey,
Give her butterfly kisses.
Hey, you come off really strong here. People don't want to ask you for help. And when people do ask you for help, you talk down to them and assume they know things. You don't assume positive intent. You want me to give her a life coaching lesson?
I think you're missing the point of what I'm saying.
You think I treat her bad?
I believe that you should focus on, even in your mind.
I'm really good at hating people and treating them well, though.
But if you looked to forgive and love, do you think you might treat them even better?
I don't need to forgive her for anything. Because remember, I leave the store and
talk about it on your podcast.
Yeah. Just talk about it.
Now, I haven't thought all the way through it.
She doesn't do something.
I need to give my full-throated
If I was having a more interaction with her, because I don't want to interact with her. That's the whole thing. So if I was interacting with her, I would, treat her kindly. Last interaction, if we remember, it wasn't me that had the issue. It was the other guy.
It was the guy, yeah. Oh, dude, I was at listen, I got car prowled. My fault, stupid. It was downtown T-Town. And I just had stuff on my mind, ADD.
You left something out in your car?
I left my truck unlocked.
Mm-hmm.
And they took my gym bag. Not a big loss.
Hopefully it was used.
And then took everything out of my glove box, which
Who
was
keeps valuables in the glove box.
It was just like a knife and freaking my
Les Schwab warranty.
Just my Toyota freaking book or whatever, and my registration.
Right.
So I had to go. I went to the DOL in GH and show up there right when it opens. There's of course 5 people already sitting in seats. It's like 8. It says 8:30 on the thing. Like, so people get in there, whatever, blah blah blah. And there's a guy who gets up, and he's obviously one of these buy-sell car guys. He's got 4 titles there do. He's like, you do titles? Oh, I only do 4 at a time because we're a person down. All right. Well, first one, the thing is wrong.
Wrong information.
Wrong information. And as I come to find out, of course, somebody's leaving town the next day, so this is the information. And some guy over there in the other department told them that this is what he needs.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, well, this is what I need. This is what the guy said I need. And the lady's like, I work here. Don't you think I'm telling you what I need? And I'm saying that's not what I need.
The other day, someone said to me, well, I ride this train all the time, and it blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I went, oh, I guess I don't ride this train enough. That's what I wanted to say back to him. I said, oh, you ride the train more than I do, and I've never seen you before, apparently.
That would have been funny.
I know, but he was angry.
I know. You got to de-escalate. You just got to... What do you got to do? Do you practice restraining techniques? What if you had what if you have violence on the train? What's that?
Run, hide, fight.
No, not that kind of violence. What if you just have somebody like What? Here's a situation. People are getting on the train, and they have been drinking all night.
Oh yeah.
And they roll into the morning train going down to Portland. What's that one leave?
7:22 a.m.
Wait, you don't have any afternoon trains? Oh yeah, Portland on the way back.
And other ones that leave Seattle in the afternoon.
But you don't typically leave in the afternoon.
No, that is a Portland crew base returning from their trip to Seattle.
Dude, I know what I'm saying.
Okay, so yeah, I come back from Portland at 7:25.
So somehow people are drunk on the train.
Mariners game.
Yeah, and they've been up partying all night because they just won the World Series. They're like, oh.
Or they go to the Mariners game or Seahawks game in the morning, and then they get on the last train or whatever.
So they're drunk.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they're like, no, Hauschka was the best kicker in Seahawks history. And they say, no, I can't think of another Seahawks kicker. No, I couldn't think of one fast enough.
That one guy that missed all the time.
And this other guy. And all of a sudden they start getting in a fist fight, but they start like first you're looking at it, you're like, okay, these two are just sort of like punching each other right now, but the train's a little bit full, and all of a sudden, they're starting to tire out, these big boys, just after a couple of punches, and so they're kind of leaning on each other early. This is a heavyweight title fight. If they were, straw weight, they wouldn't be leaning until round 6 or so. But they're already leaning round 1.
Yeah.
And they start bumping into a lady or pushing it or whatever. What does and it doesn't look like, and you already tried to step in and go like, hey, cool. guys.
You're not that guy.
You're not that guy. We all know Hauschka's not that guy. And what's your responsibility if people are being violent and you're out of
you're not at a station?
No, you're not at a station.
Responsibility is to get the other people to safety.
You can't like kick them out the window like the old, like on the westerns and stuff.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
No ticket.
Yeah.
Punch them and throw them out the window.
Yeah, grab them by the belt in the back and zoop.
Nope. Because you can pull the emergency window out, but that takes a minute. No, you have to get the other passengers out of that car. And then you could even just lock them in that car and then meet the police at a crossing.
Get it out of your system, boys. If you're like a saucy broad, you'd be like, get it out of your system, boys. Fellas.
But then if they were hurting other people, like if some guy's just on a rampage, me personally would
do you have zip ties on the train?
They exist.
They're in the kit with the stick.
Not for that reason specifically. But yeah, we're not supposed to do any intervening, but
don't be a hero.
Exactly. So hypothetically speaking, I don't do jiu-jitsu for nothing.
I was just gonna say, get him in a heel hook.
So yeah. Supposedly there's supposed to be more police coming.
Are heel hooks legal if you're just restraining somebody?
Yeah. If I'm restraining someone, they are not going to want to ever hurt someone again.
Ooh, that sounds like a challenge.
If they're able to. Actually, I think about that all the time when I'm like walking in Portland, hellhole, or Spokane or anything. Like if someone tried to like come after me or something, and I, was in a tough, and then I was like, got 1 or whatever and did jiu-jitsu,
Vitamin the D.
I would probably just get like a Kimura and just break their arm just because. Just like to say you messed up. that might be a dark side of me, but like even if I like won.
See, Will always wants to teach the other person a lesson. You don't always have to teach somebody a lesson, Will. You live for you.
Who else do I want to teach a lesson?
The lady.
I don't want to teach her a lesson.
You said you wanted to teach her a lesson.
That was me trying to take your advice.
And then this guy, you break his arm and say, you did that.
Yeah, that's a legacy. That's a legacy I'm leaving. He's always going to remember when his arm doesn't extend all the way.
And he has to shift gears by flopping his arm.
Yeah.
around.
Have you seen that guy who can swing his arm all the way around?
There's multiples.
Or Kyle and Morgan's dad shifting with the left hand because he didn't have an arm.
Oh, wait.
Remember that?
I sent this to Matt. I don't think I sent it to you.
Remember that?
Yeah. I mean, I never saw him, but...
And it's like, why are you driving a manual car? It's 2010,
I know.
15.
Look at this. He's nub-handed.
Yeah. And then wasn't there one time like the hit came back to him and he caught it and threw the person out?
Maybe.
At first.
Yeah, ESPN ran this funny thing. It says Jim Abbott throws the most improbable no-hitter in MLB history. But they choose a picture where his nub is front and center.
Yeah,
and
it's the whole point. It's like, what's his name on the Seahawks?
But if
Griffin.
if they're just talking about the hand that he pitches with, which is his left hand, how is it more improbable than anybody else?
Because it's improbable that he even got
the improbable part. It's not. He is like the one player on the whole field that you really don't care about their other hand.
True. You have a point.
So it's like, I mean, how many times a year does the pitcher, touch the ball with their glove hand?
Every time they throw the ball back to them. Every pitch.
With their glove hand. Yeah. Okay. You know what? You got me there. Touche.
Look how the turns have taken.
But in terms of throwing, the skill that he has to... I mean, he could roll the ball back to him, and it'd still be just as improbable as anybody else with two hands.
Mm-hmm. What maybe more improbable? Did you see the one where he looked to the catcher, but he was still like talking to the third baseman, but then the catcher threw it, and it just landed right in his glove?
I think that was Buster Posey and somebody.
That was a wild one. Or it was, what's more improbable, hitting a bird. 99-mile-an-hour fastball bird.
I'd say probably bird.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't choose nub guy, I would probably have to say I'm probably obligated to say bird, even if I didn't believe it.
Yeah, wild. Oh, you know how they have those baseball cards?
Who's more popular, that bird or the Smash Mouth guy? Who's more recognizable?
Smash Mouth guy.
Yeah, probably.
Girls don't really care about the bird. And girls know Shrek.
But if you saw a picture of the bird blowing up and then a picture of the Smash Mouth guy, you'd be like, have you seen one of these before? You might say bird.
No.
But if you saw a picture of Shrek, Shrek would win.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Shoot. What is there before that? Bird.
I'm sorry. It was baseball related.
Oh, baseball card. You know how they do those baseball cards that have like the little piece of the jersey?
No, but I'm listening.
They're called relics.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have a piece of the jersey. They'll have a piece of a bat. It's like a little shaving of the baseball bat, something like that. What if they had a Randy Johnson relic with the bird feather in it?
Bird feather. That'd be good.
Is that out there? Big Nate. Can you procure that?
The cloaca.
It's all bloody. Oh, man.
You know what? Cloaca has, stuck in my brain so much. We went and saw the new Ninja Turtles movie, which I recommend. So funny.
And you thought about how they have cloacas?
I even recommend it for adults, but you wouldn't want to watch solo. But if you wanted to have a laugh with somebody else, like, you would laugh.
And it's animated, yeah?
It's animated. The animation style is cool.
It's not just basic CGI.
Yeah, I think one thing about that Spider-Man movie from a few years ago,
it's like, oh, we can be artsy.
Exactly. And so this has a lot of like sketchy fill stuff, and non-fill stuff. Like the explosion stuff is kind of, I don't know, just how they do it. It looks like a hand scribbled.
Michael Bay. Oh.
No, it wasn't that kind of CGI. It was kind of like arty.
Yeah.
Animated. But they had a trailer for some Mallard movie where the dad, he never, we're never going to leave this pond. We're safe here.
Oh, is it like how they're doing the remakes of the kids' books? Like Lyle Crocodile?
Oh, I don't know what this is. There's no real people in this, though.
Yeah.
And so they're like, you know what? We are going to go. And then it's like, wait, why are we migrating this way? And everybody's migrating this way. Anyways, the kid
going against the grain.
joke is like, the dad is like,
the movie called Migration?
Maybe. And the dad's like, you, Kumail Nanjiani, he's like, yo, you got to poop. You can poop while you're flying. To the little kid. He's like, no, I can't. It's weird. And so they go to the ground and he has to go. And then the kid is like pooping in the bushes. And all I can think is the anatomy of the bird and its cloaca.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this podcast has ruined me to just enjoy.
Kids. It's called Migration.
Yes. I think a feather would be better in the card pack than a anus.
Yeah. It's not an anus.
I know, but for the listeners who
haven't caught up
on yeah. It's basically bird anus.
Yeah. Explain like I'm 5. It's everything you do out of one hole. Like a fish.
Every hole that you can imagine in your middle, it's all of them.
Yeah. All in one. All encompassing. Randy Johnson bird relic. That PETA wouldn't like that, but I think it's epic. Is it time?
Yeah, I mean, time for what?
Ending?
Yeah.
Okay. The end.